That was awesome. Loved it. Loved it. We still got some time to kill here, about 4 minutes. 4 minutes until we kick off the initial project here. But super excited. How's everyone doing? Let's see if there's any engagement in chat. Divakar, great to see you. Awesome. Hey, I love those little elevator pitch videos that were shared earlier. Sayali, nice to see you. Dayon, Diana, Carlos, super excited to be here alongside you, some of the presenters here. Emiliano on Monday as well. Really looking forward to everything here. So just to prepare the next group to come on stage here, if Project Spartan could prepare to hop on stage, that would be wonderful. Lovely, thank you, thank you. But we'll wait until the bottom of the hour. Would you say 1:30? Would 1:30 be the bottom of the hour? Potentially, potentially. But I see Juan, hello, Juan, Jacob, hello, Jean, Diana, Molly, Giovanni, Divakar, Andrew, great to see you, Andrew, Uzman, Ozzy, great to see you were able to join us today. Super excited to have you here. Rochelle, hello, Rochelle, welcome, welcome. We're just going to wait another 2-3 minutes or so, and then we'll kick it off with the first presentation here. We do just want to give some time for everyone to slowly make their way onto this session or the other sessions, and then we'll kick it off. So for those of you who are currently in this specific session here, we're going to take about 15 minutes per group. There's going to be 4 groups for a total of 1 hour. So get ready for some exciting deep dive and pitches with how they approach the project, how it all came together. And for those of you who are in the audience, feel free to ask questions. I'm going to be taking questions at the end of Q&A, moderating them, sharing it with the groups, and then I'll be asking questions myself as well if we run out of questions. But please don't hesitate to hold back. Share any feedback, comments, ask questions on how they did this. How did the environments get created? Anything else? Do share it and do ask those questions, and I'd be more than happy to bring those up and share it with the members there. But we're going to wait another 1 to 2 minutes, 1 minute, exactly 1 minute now before we kick off the very first session or group project here. And the very first one that we're going to have is going to be Project Spartan. So we'll just wait here a little bit longer. Molly, Project Spartan. Yes, I love it. I love it. Okie dokie. Well, you know what? We've got another 30 seconds left, so I'm going to prepare myself here, and we'll get this rolling very, very soon. Divakar, I loved your world map. Oh, thank you very much. I totally forgot my camera's not blurred out here. Tyler, tell us a joke. Oh lordy, I'm not the best jokester. I mean, I'm jokes to be around, but usually anything I say comes out as kind of a joking manner. Maharshi, hey everyone, this is my first session. Excited to see how this goes. Excited to have you here. But let's kick it off. We're at the bottom of the hour, top of the hour, however you want to call it. The very first project that we're going to be introducing in this session is Project Spartan, created by group members Gene Ward, Monday Atuanu, and Sebastian Gregor. Now, briefly about this project, players are thrusted into worlds where they must defend their base from waves of enemy forces, utilizing tower defense turrets and mech suit upgrades and power-ups. And Project Spartan is designed to be played your way as a strategic VR FPS tower defense experience. Now, Monday, Gene and Sebastian are looking for sponsorship, mentorship, and collaborations to continue developing this game here. So I'm going to share their little video telling you more and showing you more about the project itself, and then I'll get these folks onto the stage to pitch it to you all.
Oh, we can't hear you, Steph.
How's this? Is this a little better?
Here we go.
Awesome. Hey,
Crystal
no,
clear.
right on, right on. Thank you for letting me know, Monday. A little technical issue there, but nonetheless, incredible, electric, awesome. I'm gonna pass it off to you two gentlemen here. Great work on that project. I'll let you dive into it, pitch it, and then we're gonna dive into some Q&A. So take it away, gentlemen.
Sounds great. Thank you. All right. Well, welcome everybody to the world of Project Spartan. Oh, I was on the right screen. So similar to what Steph said, so Project Spartan is really a first-person VR tower defense game, and you're really set in a dystopian world where these reactors from an ancient and alien time grant you abilities that you can use to upgrade and build turrets to kind of help with your defensing of the reactor, or you can use them for mech suit abilities. Every session is different as we were able to pair both player characters and AI characters into the same world and really have them interact together. So our game does have two different play styles. So for the single player one, it's more of a wave-based enemy AI combatants, and you must defend your reactor. You can use your reactor to build power nodes to help build your companion turrets, or it on with more of a first-person shooter gameplay style in the VR aspect. For multiplayer, we wanted to carry over a lot of these single player aspects into a multiplayer, more massive battle royale world. So for the multiplayer, you can either win your way by surviving and being the last man standing, or you can win as more of like a king of the hill aspect by holding the reactor the longest to win those multiplayer battles. All of our multiplayer maps have both AI and player combatants, and we try to hold up to 20 actual players and 30 AI enemies in the map at a time. So to develop this project, we started off with a very small team and really dedicated it into three specific avenues for the initial development. So Gene, who's here with me right now, was focused on our engineering aspects and took the lead on a lot of our script and code development and overall programming. Sebastian Gregor, who unfortunately isn't with us today, did our world design and did a lot of like the world planning, the nav mesh, and overall like how is the AI characters going to navigate through these worlds. And then me, myself, Monday Atuanu, was focused on gameplay and overall optimization. So we were very ambitious and we wanted to kind of like push the limits of our Oculus Quest headsets. So I was looking at gameplay wise, like does the gameplay make sense as it correlates between single player and multiplayer? And then optimization, can we play it in a headset? Is it smooth? Is it successful? And does it do what we need it to do?
So as discussed, Project Spartan is the incorporation of multiple game genres and the mechanics that come with it. We envisioned the incorporation of a mobile tower defense game such as Endless Siege with the online multiplayer first-person shooter such as Apex Legends. We're mixing of these genres and the current structures of VR FPS games is our inspiration to move the VR experience forward into uncharted waters. This fusion of genres is ambitious, but we believe the outcome of these concepts will bring about a new genre and gameplay that will be exciting to play. Now, Project Spartan is encompassed by 6 goals that are interconnected between single player and multiplayer. For the first 3 goals, they are the reimagination of a tower defense game from its current platform style, the incorporation of a game where the difficulty increases with skill, and a strategic gameplay. Currently, typical gameplay in 2D and 3D base, the user defends their base in an overhead view of the map. For current VR tower defense games, the player is set in one spot where they're unable to move as they defend their tower. And for some VR tower defense games, you have some immersion, but the gameplay is predictable and the enemy movement is very linear. Basically, the current approach is underutilizing the VR immersion that can bring about a fast and fun experience. In Project Spartan, we have a full immersion of the level created. We're enabling the player to roam in the environment and choose the game style that they would like to play, whether it's up close and personal like FPS shooter or laid back and strategic with their tower creation skills. We also incorporate the increased difficulty in the enemy stats as the player progresses through the levels and waves. And it has an AI-based enemy system that will not only target your base or the tower, but also you, the player, if you get too close. All of these items are fulfilling the initial 3 goals, as well as complementing the next 3 that give it a synergistic boost to the gameplay style.
Right. And for the multiplayer side of things, we wanted to focus on, again, 3 aspects that really make multiplayer games successful from our standpoint. So one of the first things that we identified is for multiplayer, customizable play and characters is crucial. Everybody likes to be able to play as the character they want to play as, and really customizable really show kind of like your mark on how skilled you are at the game by different unlockables and things that you can add to it. The other aspect that we wanted to focus on was a balance between skill and strategy. And typically what we've seen in these Battle Royale and multiplayer games are there's some sort of like a firing range or tutorial map where people can really build that skill set before they actually jump into a battle. And the third aspect we wanted to cover was to make it entry level friendly. The best way that we've seen this used in previous titles is by some sort of like skill tree or upgrade abilities where, everybody starts off on the same level and you can really build your skills and set your attributes to your playstyle, which kind of makes it more approachable for like entry level and beginner players. So the way we incorporated those into Project Spartan for the multiplayer side of things is we do have a dynamic character selector. So right now, Project Spartan has about 13 multiplayer characters that you can cycle through, and you'll see a few of those characters throughout our presentation. And each one of those characters has a backstory, has different passive and active abilities that really elevate the multiplayer game when you're actually playing on that map. Along with that, like we said before, enemy and player characters interact on those maps together in the multiplayer mode. So the clip that you see here is our enemy drone characters and our enemy AI characters that actually respond to interaction with player characters. They send alerts to the other AIs on the map, and they'll actually like follow and do other different state changes that really enhance that player experience. The last aspect that we wanted to incorporate with multiplayer is some sort of a skill tree. So this was our first run of a skill tree. We had core abilities and tactics, and our skill tree really is dynamic. So as you gain those XP, both through the single player campaign and the multiplayer mode, you can use those with your different characters to really build out that skills and really just focus on playing the game your way. As we portrayed so far, really Project Spartan is this weird, like unique business sweet spot. So with Project Spartan, we're able to bridge the gaps to many different gaming genres. As Gene was saying, we have aspects of the traditional tower defense, of Battle Royale games that are very popular, as well as VR first-person shooters. But it also penetrates an existing growing market. So VR tower defense is something relatively new that does have a lot of buzz, and really putting Project Spartan into that market now is a great opportunity to grow that market and this game. It introduces a new and emerging platform by combining a lot of these games into our VR headset. We have scalability built into our current model. So all of the tools that, Gene has done a great job with his engineering, with his different state changes and scriptable objects, we can scale almost as big as the headset will allow us to at this point. And it's high branding and marketing potential. So using Fortnite as a basis for this example, the more you're able to customize and generate your own unique characters and really build that relationship between player and character, the more you have branding and marketing opportunities. People are going to want to dress up as Halloween as the cyberpunk character. They're going to want to have the backpacks, the phone cases. They're going to want to have like the little emoji icons and all those different things that really Project Spartan can bring through our character selection and a lot of the tools we've built in.
From the look of the current project timeline, we're looking to start some research testing and some initial feedback of our first build this December. We're still optimizing and finalizing the 3 single-player levels as well as multiplayer levels that are built and functional. As for next year, we're looking to scale up in production as well as team growth and probably some funding, either through sponsorship or through our own coffers. Our goal is to finalize the 3-level campaigns with the tutorial level map and finalize the 3 multiplayer maps that will be able to hold 20 players with 2 different game modes: King of the Hill and Team versus Team.
So our ask from you, the industry people who are watching this presentation is really 3 things. We're looking for sponsors. We want to continue developing out Project Spartan, and we're looking for sponsors who would like to help with funding or mentorship abilities to help with that development. And mentorship and industry guidance, which we'll talk about a little bit more, just to help us fill those gaps of, the things that we don't know and the things that we would like to enhance for this team specifically.
We're also looking for like-minded individuals that are willing to jump onto this project and express their respective skills and knowledge and grow out this genre of gameplay.
All right. So, for anyone who's interested in joining Project Spartan, definitely connect with us through the networking channel or in the breakout session. Currently, we're looking for two actual roles to join our team. We're looking for a technical designer to help with more of like the world and gameplay aspects of things, and then as well as a technical artist to really help us build out a lot of our unique character models and unique aspects of this game that we really want to be bespoke instead of using asset store resources. Along with that, we also have two hybrid role slash mentor opportunities for VR optimization expert, as well as a multiplayer and networking expert to join the team as well. So we
Thank
just
you.
want to, yeah, we just want to thank you all for listening to our presentation. Gene, Sebastian, and I are through the roof about Project Spartan and all the things that it can do. If you're interested in hearing more about it or joining our team or just connecting with us, our connection details are on the screen right here, and we can definitely share those in the chat or in the networking opportunities.
Oh, amazing. Amazing. Can you hear me? Still good?
We
Yeah.
can hear you.
Right on. Right. Hey, thank you so much for presenting your project and pitching it to everyone here. I see Fia's in awe. I'm in awe as well. Now, you know what? You guys will be sticking around, and there's some questions in the chat here. Uh, First question that came up, and that I'd like to bring up, if you could just take 1 minute to touch on that question. We have to bring on the next presenter here shortly. This one's from Usman, and Usman was asking, what were some optimization techniques that you used?
Yeah, so the quick 1 minute answer so that way we can move on. We used a lot of occlusion culling to kind of manage like what the player is actually rendering and what's seeing within the scene. We also reduced our triangle by using a lot of low poly assets whenever we could. And then overall, just a lot of like batching and how things load into the scene and really making it like procedural batching to make sure like we're not overloading the headset. The player is loading up and seeing what they need to see for that play at that time.
Mhm.
Awesome. Well, hey, if you could touch up on some of the other questions there in the chat while the next presenter's up, that would be awesome. But Monday, Gene, Sebastian, awesome work. Kudos to you all. I hope to see this come out and play, for myself as well. So, congratulations on all the work you did, and thank you for joining and being the first group to pitch in this session here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Take care. Awesome. Well, thank you again, Project Spartan. That was wonderful. We have our next project coming up here, Island Battle Royale, created by Jacob Weiser and Scott Fisk. And briefly, Island Battle Royale is a multiplayer fighting game utilizing photon and procedural terrain generation to make a unique and enjoyable gaming experience. Now, these group members, Jacob and Scott, are seeking employment and mentorship opportunities. So feel free to reach out to them, connect with them afterwards. But with this, I will be tossing in the video, and then we'll be inviting Jacob onto the stage. So here it goes.
Hey, your mic is muted.
These technical man unmute, still muted, but thank you for letting me know, Jacob. I was just saying, great video there. Really looking forward for you to dive into this pitch here, and we see some questions here as well. But nonetheless, Jacob, take it away. Pitch your project, how you approached it. We'll get some questions going in as well, but the stage is all yours, Jacob.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. Um, my name is Jacob Visor, and on behalf of my group, uh, which is me and Scott, I will be presenting Island Battle Royale. So, Uh, in terms of my background, I am a multifaceted individual who used his Unity and XR skills, mainly grabbed by Circus Stream, to finish and help develop this project for Island Battle Royale. I was the gameplay developer and level designer, and my partner, Scott, is also a multifaceted individual who used his skills in XR to bring about Island Battle Royale. And he was also the gameplay developer and multiplayer expert. So before I begin my actual content in the presentation, let me have a quick disclaimer before I begin. Uh, like my project, uh, COVID also took my breath away. Mid project, I caught COVID, and it stunted or stalled or delayed, however you want to call it, some of the features that we wanted to include for Island Battle Royale. But nonetheless, that did not stop me or Scott in creating something that is genuinely unique and impressive, and just all around a good project. And so, as you can see, we are currently in November, which is the continued development and refactoring phase. And then as we move into January, we will continue doing testing and debugging and troubleshooting anything if necessary. And hopefully by 2023, we hope to publish our game on Steam and Itch and get that traction going for this game. So now let's get into what is Island Battle Royale. Island Battle Royale, long story short, is a game that players can enjoy. It utilizes functions such as multiplayer, custom controls, procedural level building to bring the player into the game and immerse them into the content. And the rules are simple. It's just you avoid touching the water and be the last player standing. And so this is based off of research from the the multiplayer gaming industry itself. So there's a lot of multiplayer games being made in Unity, and it's seen a precipitous growth since last year, actually, for PC games and mobile games. And Battle Royale games are actually the number one most popular multiplayer genre. And if you can look and see, there are a bunch of heavy hitting Battle Royale games already out, like Fortnite, Apex Legends, PUBG, and then a VR exclusive Battle Royale game, but not the only one, Population One. And so, what makes Island Battle Royale different? Our game is modular and scalable with the way that we built the levels and the player dynamics and combat animations. And we have dynamic stage building, which basically is the infinite terrain system that we've built inside the game so that you can go wherever, whenever you want, and not feel confined to a specific space or arena. And then we have something called a mechanical bull mechanic, which I will explain later. And then also in-game class switching, which lets you switch your skills and abilities on in an instant mid-battle to fit your specific situation or need. and to get the advantage on other players. And so the mechanical bull functionality is a very complicated feature that we added, but long story short, it moves the terrain with any speed that we want, any configuration, any size that we want. However, we want to change the level, the map. We can do that with this mechanical bull function, and it allows an extra layer of complexity to the game because not only are the players attacking you, but also the island itself is attacking you. And so if you remember, the rules is not to touch the water. This makes it very difficult for you to complete to kill or defeat a player and also stand in the same place the whole time because the island will buck you off like a mechanical bull. And so this is the tutorial series that I've gained the knowledge to build the infinite terrain system. It's from Sebastian Legou's channel. It's very informative and complex. So if you are interested, you can check that out. And then this is the elements that are yet to be completed for our game, which, as you can see, the list, it's already stuff that we currently have laid out in the game. It's just not to the completion level that we would like. The game manager, for instance, the mechanical bull script has not been fully fleshed out. And then the combat system has simple animations, but we want to add on to that to make it more detailed and complex for different fighting scenarios. And then weapons and classes, that also hasn't been added to the game, but we assume it would not be too difficult to add because it's just scriptable objects, swords, guns, those type of things. And then we also need to refactor the photon script, but that is just a small detail that we just need to make sure that it's okay with the photon. And then optimization, which we still haven't done yet, but we will. And so that's where I am asking for your support in helping me and Scott finish this project. For developers, we would like you to help us with the coding side of the project, troubleshoot any issues if necessary, and then bring this game to life by our projected launch date, which is 2023. And then people who are interested in investing, you will be our advocate for Island Battle Royale and help us with marketing, branding, and be also a source of funding. And so our projected goals for Island Battle Royale is a 2023 launch date. And for that, we would like a 70% completed beta, which is basically all of the features that I've mentioned. If 70% of those, time allowing would be completed, that is okay in my book. We just want a minimum viable product to gauge interest. This isn't supposed to be something, a triple A game. Is just to gauge interest to see if this is something that we would continue putting effort in. And for that, we would like 100 Steam downloads. And for the partners, we would like to have at least 1 to 5 new people to join the team to help develop Island Battle Royale. And so this is my contact information. I reached out to Scott. He said he doesn't have a LinkedIn because his job won't allow it. But my LinkedIn, I am currently seeking employment. So if you are interested in hiring me, this is my contact information. And then you can also reach Scott as well. And that concludes my presentation. I want to thank you all for listening, and I will pass it on to Steph.
Hey, Jacob. Audio's on. We're good. Yeah. Lovely.
Yeah.
Jacob, massive, massive project and pitch. Thank you so, so much. And Jacob, I mean, you shared your timeline, your kind of project, that at least how you approached it and were developing it. And I believe y'all had 4 weeks to really start something and to bring it to MVP. And you were knocked out for probably half of that time. So considering that you were out for 2 of the 4 weeks there, you nailed it. You killed it. Scott did an awesome job as well. And that mechanical bull function, tell me more about that. How did you guys come up with this? Is it something that's already known in the industry? Is this something y'all thought of? Tell me more about that mechanical bull.
Well, when I thought of the concept of Island Battle Royale, I was already in the process of doing the procedural terrain generation, because that was just like I wanted to learn something new basically. And so I was like, this would be very cool for my capstone project. And so the mechanical bull is just a name that me and Scott came up with, because it was like, how a mechanical bull tries to buck you off and make you fall off, the island itself would want to make you fall in the water and lose. So that's how I came up with it. I followed the tutorial series, and I gained a lot of knowledge on purlin noise and just pooling and optimization, and different things to make it come to life. So that's basically the method behind my madness, basically. So
I love it. Hey, I can see this mechanical bull being a staple in the industry, and for games coming out, I bet you this idea is already being taken and likely being thought of to be implemented. So Jacob, wonderful work. Again, Jacob and Scott are looking for employment opportunities or mentorship opportunities, folks to support this project as well. So if you're interested, please don't hesitate to reach out to these two gentlemen. They would be more than happy to connect with you and to work alongside you. But Jacob, that was amazing. Thank you again for your pitch and time today. Great job, and excited to see where this goes. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks.
Take care. Bye. Lovely. Awesome. So let's get this. Wonderful. And with that, round of applause for Jacob and Scott's work and project. That is amazing. With this, we've got our next project coming up. This is Night Watch, created by Sarah Applebaum. And briefly, Night Watch is an early in development horror game by Sarah, and it will focus on a psychological horror and aims to emulate older games from the PlayStation 1 and 2 eras. And Sarah is currently seeking an internship and employment for game design and development. So with this, I'm going to share her video so you can get a flavor and a taste of what this is all about, and then we'll get Sarah onto the stage here. So let me just grab her video here. Lovely. And we are off. Right on. Hopefully my audio is well still, but that gave me the shivers. Whoa, that I can see why it's got that horror theme associated to it there. But take your time, Sarah. No worries at all. I know you're ready to hop onto the stage here. But of course, yes, not a problem. Sarah, are you okay if I share that YouTube link there with Andrew
Yeah,
or
for
the
sure.
chat here? Right on. Perfect. There you go, Mr.
Um,
Andrew.
Hold
all
on,
the
I'm having
ready.
some camera issues. This didn't happen during the dry run, which is really embarrassing.
No worries at all. Take your time. We've got the time here. I did share the video in the chat, and for all of you tuning into these sessions, the videos will be available afterwards. So they're available to rewatch the demos and the videos at a later time. The link will be in the description as well. So that would that'd be wonderful. But with this, any initial questions for Sarah's little horror game before we get her rolling onto the stage here? I see Andrew thought it was amazing. David Ducasis, great to see you join the Alberta VRARA chapter supporting the event. Thank you very much. Paul, Spooky, and there she is.
Yay!
Sarah. Hey.
I was
Welcome.
thinking for a hot second.
No worries. Sarah, excited to get into your pitch here.
Whew.
Great video there. And stage is yours. Take it away. And I'll be back later on.
Sounds awesome. All right. So I can't exactly see the chat right now. So I'm hoping that everyone can see my screen. Real quick, can everyone see it?
Yeah.
Okay, amazing, awesome, wonderful. Nope, that's the wrong slide. Going exactly as planned. All right, so hi everyone, my name is Sarah Applebaum, and what you just saw was a super rough, I guess, demo of my game in progress, Night Watch. So just a quick couple of things about me. I am a university student at Rutgers University. I'm studying IT. That circle is supposed to be there on my face. Awesome. I'm currently employed at Urban Arts Partnership, which is a nonprofit that teaches Unity game design to high schoolers. And this is my game Street Shuffle that's releasing on Steam in a little bit. And that is the mayor of New York City playing Street Shuffle. So I am a game developer. I've been working on games for a long time, and this is something that I came up with for the Circuit Stream Bootcamp. So as you saw in the trailer, this is kind of the intro story of the game. Basically, the gist is that you're a police officer on night watch. And after a murder in the town that you're policing, there have been weird phenomenon in the town, ghostly moans, rustling, doors knocking with nobody there. And then someone calls into the station, and that kind of kickstarts the story of the game. The thing I want to achieve with this game's storyline is I want it to feel supernatural yet realistic. I know a lot of horror games have a lot of fantastical elements in them, but I want this one to be more psychological and a thriller. So I want this game to feel like it can happen to anyone, even you. Because I feel like, for me personally, that's what I always find scariest in horror games. Things that can happen to me. So my main goals with this game is I want the player to feel scared. I want them to be concerned. You know, I want them to actually feel as though there is a threat to them. I feel like a lot of the times when you're playing horror games that aren't that scary, you kind of just go through it and you don't really feel anything. Well, I don't want to do that. I also want the player to use their hearing and sight as much as possible while they're in the environment. So while you're using your VR headset, peering into that tiny little camera, looking for any sign of life, and while you're also hyper aware of sounds in your office, like in the trailer I had the knocking. And then I want the player to enjoy the tone that the game sets. I am a huge horror game fanatic. I love horror games, and I want this game to appeal to people who love horror games. And I want the person to feel really good when they're playing a horror game. Despite being scared, I want them to find enjoyment in this game. So I got a lot of inspiration for this game from this game developer, Chilla. Chilla is a game developer from Japan who makes a lot of horror games in Unity utilizing this kind of low poly style. And I'll just click through the video really quick so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. And a lot of his horror games happen in the real world. And most of the plots of the horror games are things that can happen to anyone. It's like you're on the bus here, you were in the coffee shop before, and I just love this style of game, and I want to emulate this. And I've taken a lot of inspiration from Chilla. And another reason that I think my game is great is because Chilla's art games are insanely popular on YouTube. These are just a couple of screenshots of people who've played Chilla's games, and you have a ton of huge YouTubers, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, Corey Kenshin. These guys draw millions and millions of views. And this one was uploaded 2 weeks ago from when I took the screenshot, which was yesterday. So clearly there's still a market for them. And how I'm going to achieve this effect and kind of get a share in this market is through a lot of post-processing effects. So up here is kind of what my game looks like in the actual Unity editor. And then down here, I'm layering on a lot of pixelation, a lot of kind of CRT TV effects to kind of achieve that grainy, pixely look. I'm still kind of perfecting it because I'm learning a lot about Unity's post-processing system and graphical system, but we'll get there. So the main systems I have in my game as of right now, it's going to be these 4 big systems. Dialogue handling, you can see in the trailer a little bit, I kind of had a little dialogue rectangle above the TV, and that's where probably most of the dialogue is going to be. I'm going to have story events that kind of decides what's going to happen, what's going to appear on the camera, what spooky sounds are going to be in your office. Input system, I want this game to work with controller or keyboard. Ideally, I would like the player to play with a headset, but I know that not everyone has a VR headset, so it would be really cool if you'd be able to play this game without one. And finally, graphic-wise, I want this game to be accessible on low-end and high-end machines. Growing up, I never really had a great computer until this year when I finally built my own, and I'm very used to having horribly optimized games on my tiny little laptop. And so I really want my game to be able to be played by people like that. People who might own a VR headset, but they don't own a good computer. Or maybe the other way around. People who have a really, really good computer, but they just don't have a VR headset. So that's kind of why I'm trying to make this game accessible to everyone. And so with the development of this game, the 4-week time frame that I had, there were definitely a lot of challenges. Just for reference, I am a full-time student in university, and I also work part-time jobs, for money. So I still have a lot to do in this game. To be precise, that is everything I need to do. And I know it looks like a lot, and it is a lot, I know. But I really like this game so far, and I think that in the 4 weeks that I had, I managed to come up with a good proof of concept. And with that, it's not like I'm going off of nothing. I already kind of have a great idea of what I want to implement and how I'm going to do it. And so, with that, the future of my game, I want to finish it, first of all. That is probably the most important part. I definitely want to release this game on Steam, itch.io, the Oculus Store. It would be really great if I could get this to run on the Oculus headset without having to link it to a desktop. That would be awesome. And then profit, and maybe I'll graduate and have this game in my portfolio for potential employers to see. And speaking of potential employers, I'm looking for an internship. I really want to go into the game design and development field, mostly as a designer, but I'm also interested in development and programming opportunities. So if you're looking for an intern, let me know. I am available, and there's my email right there. And that is Night Watch. Thank you, everyone.
Amazing, Sarah. My audio is good. Just want to be sure I don't continue.
Yep, you're good.
Lovely. Awesome. Sarah, phenomenal pitch. Love that horror type of game. Honestly, gave me the shivers when the video was playing with all the music there. But love the work. And again, as Sarah just mentioned, she is looking for an internship and employment opportunities. So hey, if you've got an opening or looking to hire in the near future, please don't hesitate to reach out to Sarah. She would love to work alongside you. Now, Sarah, we do have about 3 to 4 minutes. Lots of comments and questions here. So let me just pick out some quick comments. It looks like there was amazing, all the energy, confidence, fabulous. Smart marketing, since you already have a fan base based on the artist in Japan making similar games. So that's awesome. Now, I'll start off with the most recent question. And again, Sarah, if you could keep the answers brief just so we can get as many questions in, that would be great. One's from Marco. How did you come up with the idea?
I mostly came up with the idea because I watch a lot of gaming videos on YouTube, and I'm a huge fan of Chilla's games. And so when I was thinking about what kind of project I'd like to make, I was like, you know what I really love? I really love those retro Japanese horror games. I want to try and make one. And so that's kind of just how I got started. I just wanted to emulate something that I really loved.
Right, that makes sense. Perfect. And then we have a question here from Andrew, and Andrew was asking, is the CCTV footage just a render texture playing specific videos that trigger at different times?
Yes, it's literally, so I basically just have a separate camera, I export it to a render texture, pop it onto a cube, and that is kind of what that is. And then you can control the camera, and the camera sends to the render texture. I had to Google
Right.
how to do that.
Now that makes sense. And then just a follow up on from Andrew, it seemed from the trailer that the person, or that there were noises in the actual room that you're sitting in. So is there someone actively trying to get you in that room while you're playing and viewing these recordings?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm going for. As you're kind of focusing your attention on the cameras, you're not really paying so much attention as to what's going on in the actual room that you're in. So I want there to be a kind of a lot of noises in the actual room while you're trying to look at those cameras, because it catches you off guard. So that's kind of what I'm going for.
Okay, cool. And then we have one from Ozzy here, from Usman. How are those on performance? How's everything on performance so far?
It's decent. A lot of the models that I have a ton of polygons right now, and the lighting that I'm using is a little bit heavy. So right now, performance is not fantastic. I need to find lower poly models, and that will definitely make things a little better. But yeah, right now it's not great, but it runs really well on at least my computer. It's always running 60 FPS, although my computer's kind of powerful, so I can't say for sure. I need to test it on lower end machines like a MacBook or something.
Lovely. And there's a little comment here from Divakar to you, Sarah. Your energy and confidence is next level, so keep it up.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome. Yeah, great. And then we'll do one more question here. We do have about a minute and a half until
I
the
could do a
next
minute.
group has the cup on. Perfect. We'll bring on up from David. It's got a little like here. What is the important aspect to making a game scary, would you say?
That is actually a great question. I think the most important aspect that at least I'm going for my game is try not to make it too fantastical. Try to kind of keep it a little more realistic, because I feel like the further away it gets from reality, like if there's going to be monsters and aliens and all these crazy things, I feel like people aren't going to be as scared. Like you can have jump scares. That's scary. If you catch someone off guard, they're going to get scared. But if you want someone to feel those deep senses of like dread and anxiety, you kind of got to make it seem like this could totally happen to them. Like if they could go outside the next day. And I think that's where a lot of the fear comes from in a lot of these horror games and films.
I agree, especially the films, the ones
Yes.
people breaking into your home. You're like,
I
it's
know. And then you just go to sleep at night like, oh God.
That's it. Well, Sarah, again, amazing pitch, amazing project. Thank you so much for joining today and for sharing your work with everyone here. Again, for those of you who are hiring, Sarah's looking for work, so please don't hesitate to reach out. And Sarah, thank you for your time today. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Bye, guys.
Take care. Bye. Lovely. And then for our last group of this session, but not least, we have Scroll of the Last Ninja. And this is created by Emilio Fantasia, Sayali Haje, and Carlos Alberto Guerras Zamora. So I'm going to toss in their video here, and then we're going to invite them on stage to do their pitch as well. So let me just copy this video, and we are off. Fantabulous. The ninjas. The ninjas are out. Again, this was Scroll of the Last Ninja, a fast-paced VR game that aims to immerse users in the ruthless clan wars of medieval Japan. And these folks here on stage with me today are looking for job opportunities, ideally in VR training, mentorship, or funding to complete their project. But Sayali, Carlos, Emiliano, welcome. Fabulous video, and really looking forward to this pitch here. So I'm gonna give you the stage. It's all yours, and I'll be back for the Q&A at the end there.
Thank you very much, Steph. Okay, greetings everyone. Our project is called Scroll of the Last Ninja, and it was developed by a small team of 3. Sayali was a VR developer, animation specialist, story designer, environmental artist. Carlos, a VR developer, UI designer, 3D modeling artist, and animator. And myself, Emiliano, lead VR developer, interaction specialist, weapons and martial arts specialist. We're talking about a fast-paced action VR game to immerse players in medieval Japan. Players will find themselves impersonating a ninja on a desperate quest to retrieve a stolen scroll of lethal martial arts techniques.
The demographic intended for these games are active individuals who love a good challenge. These players enjoy experimenting and looking for new ways to improve upon their skills. For that reason, we created a game with lots of different mechanics to give players freedom to make their own combinations between weapons and power-ups. Only those who persevere and are self-disciplined will become the next great master. When initially meeting each other, we began discussing our common interests and visions for the project. We found we all shared some connections. I really like swords, for example, and well, you've seen what Emiliano has. Sayali has grown up in Japan, and not only that, but Emiliano has also been a teacher for years in martial arts. In addition to this, we're super excited about developing our skills in VR. These are the software we use in order to produce our project.
Due to constraints of time and team size, we organized and prioritized our tasks using 2 main techniques. Firstly, we got the average of our votes for the effort required by each task, as well as the value we believed it to possess. Then we also went on to further calculate the reach, impact, confidence, and effort, in other words, RICE score for each task. And thus we were able to prioritize the highlighted tasks in orange and purple in our Scrum journey. With a focus on agile methodology, we use ClickUp to keep track of our sprint's progress and keep everyone responsible for their assigned tasks. We had separate sections for the backlog and completed of each week, as well as a bug section. You can also see in front of you a rough timeline of what we worked on throughout the weeks.
Structure of the game so far is fairly simple. We start in a Zen garden where players will be able to access the main menu as well as some of the scrolls. The dojo, where players will be able to familiarize with all the different weapons, and the winter village, where all the actions and fights will happen. Among other environments, we have the spring garden, the summer village, the autumn castle with the dojo, and the winter village.
Looking back at our journey, we'll truly enjoy working together, which made for great collaboration, planning, and execution of the project. We learn a lot along the way and massively develop our own individual skills in Unity and VR. We're able to blend our unique backgrounds and creativity and only wish for more time to dedicate to the Scroll of the Last Ninja.
Continuing to work on this thrilling game, however, we have a multitude of exciting ideas. With power-ups ranging from teleportation and invisibility to spider senses and stealth mechanics, it may become difficult to take your headset off and stop playing. You have been warned. And not to mention more exciting levels and environments to allow you to improve your fitness by jumping, weaving, and using full mobility of your arms. And don't forget to face off against your friends with multiplayer mode. We would love to hear from you if you're interested in joining us in Edo, Japan by funding further development of our project, or mainly if you would like to hire these 3 ninjas who are looking for job opportunities since we can't legally cut people these days. Thank you for watching. Feel free to ask us any questions right now or get in touch with us via these following links.
All right. Right on, Sayali, Carlos, Emiliano. Love it. Love it. Came in as ninjas as well. Did not expect that at all. But a fabulous project. I can definitely see this going uh, forward and everyone playing it. So great work to you three there. A question for you, and I'm curious to know, how did you work on this project really all together in terms of collaboration, and what were some things that were challenges or potentially surprised you when working as a team putting this all together?
Well, it was quite a challenge because we live in different countries and in quite a big different time zones. But we even ended up calling ourselves the Smiling Team because we bonded really quickly together. All the workflow was extremely smooth, and we had no troubles communicating. We used Discord, of course, and everything went super smooth. So yeah, it was quite easy to do.
I'd like to add up that, as Emiliano said, we had really good communication, and we look for each individual's strength. So we start focusing on that. Emiliano has a lot of experience with developing in the web developing, so he took over the role and started managing the group as the lead Scrum Master. I know modeling and Sayali as well, so we started like seeing and dividing the group tasks and joining it all together.
I love it. I love it. And I can see how time differences definitely, are a challenge to work through. But you all made it work. You worked together. You communicated effectively, assigned tasks and milestones well to really put this project together. I love it. Now, what would you say are the next steps for you? I know you're looking for mentorship, job opportunities, funding to complete the project. Anything else you'd like to touch up in terms of your next steps and where your journey is going to take you?
Well, definitely looking for a job opportunity, and from there develop professionally. But we'd still love to keep working on these projects because we really enjoyed it, and would really much like to complete it and eventually put it on all the biggest platforms to sell it.
And I see Diana also mentioned she liked the Japanese themes in terms of the environment there. So I love it. Sally, was there something you were going to mention? I feel like you were going to mention something, but if not,
just briefly, yeah, we really like Emiliano said, we do want to publish the game for Oculus so that people can play and test it out themselves. And then, yeah, in general, we've got so many ideas. Even when we started the project, we had so many ideas that we majorly cut down on all of it due to time constraints and stuff like that. But we would really love to keep implementing those ideas. Yeah.
Of course. And I mean, 4 weeks to really put this all together. It's not a lot of time, but you excelled and really did it. So we have a question here from Jacob in the audience. Who did the particles?
Well, we found a particle effect pack, and then we were all just able to implement those in different places. Emiliano did really well with the blood particle effects on specific parts of the body, so you can really see where the blood's coming from based on where you hit, rather than just hitting the player or the enemy anywhere, and then you just see blood randomly come out of the head or something. So Emiliano did really well with that. Yeah.
Love it. And then I'm also very curious to know, what are some of the skills you've learned, or specifically maybe some tools that you used to put this together that you really had to learn and incorporate within the project here?
We really pushed forward to implement the design patterns. We all felt that was an area that we wanted to push on and really improve. And then we went from Carlos had to learn how to move from SolidWorks, I think, to Blender, and then implement everything in Unity, and he learned how to do the applications. Sayali did an awesome job to create all the actual AI for the enemies running towards the player. So we did quite a lot of different things separately, and then we managed to put everything together. Myself, I really went to learn the XRI toolkit inside and out. I also played with the new input system, so really exciting. For the, I can see a question for the inverse kinematics. That was my job, and the actual initial idea was to have the inverse kinematics so that we could show also the arms of the player. Unfortunately, the biggest challenge was that we had models that were not really good. We still don't know why, but when we were moving hands or moving the neck, the models were actually behaving really weirdly, and the bones were turning like paper, and it was horrible to see. So we had to drop that idea.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting learning to work with other people's assets and models, because there's such a range of things that exist on even the Unity asset store. So we had to do a lot of experimenting with, this one doesn't really work for our game, we got to change it, and then animating all those different characters that also come from different packs we majorly use Mechanim for animations. So making that work with other existing models was another hassle, but we learned a lot along the way. So really excited.
I think that what I learned the most was using the animation in Unity, because something that I had is like, how do I do this? And overnight, learn the interface and start testing it out in order to get our hands. We got the models for the hands, but also the scrolls move, and then bringing the weapons that we didn't have. I created the models and imported into the project.
Lovely, lovely. And I know you mentioned that you're kind of scattered all over the world or North America. For those who are looking to provide job opportunities, mentorship, or investments, where are you all located?
I'm in Vancouver, Canada. Yeah.
I am in San Jose, Costa Rica.
And I'm based in London, UK, but of course we're all open to remote opportunities to work all over the world.
Perfect, love it. Well, Sayali, Carlos, Emiliano, congratulations on the project and the pitch today. You did a wonderful job in such a short period of time. And for anyone who's interested in checking out this project again, you're able to rewatch the demo at a later time, and the link will be in the description as well. But with that, we're going to wrap things up with the sessions here. Again, congratulations to the group here and to everyone who presented their pitches in this session and the other sessions, if you had the chance to bounce around. And now we're going to be taking a 15-minute break. So feel free to, step back, relax, stretch your legs, your feet, grab a coffee or a water, and stay tuned. We're going to be doing our happy hour at 2:45 p.m. Pacific time. So really to celebrate the pitches today, meet and network with all of the graduates who have been working on the projects and who pitched their projects here today. So with that, thank you everyone for joining these sessions. Go take a 10-15 minute break, and I hope to see you all soon in the happy hour session with all of the presenters and pitchers today to celebrate their work, to network, to meet them, to ask them questions, and really get everyone engaged all together. So thanks again. We'll see you all soon in about 10-15 minutes, and hope you all enjoyed the pitches here in this session. Take care, and we'll see you soon.